According to Dr. Leopold Szondi, the Hungarian depth psychiatrist who created the fate analysis test in 1937, when a dog locks eyes with you, it is doing far more than asking for affection. In his private lectures, file Szondi case number 101A, he wrote, "The canine gaze is a living mirror. It selects the destiny still sleeping inside its human. Tonight we will uncover why your dog chose you, which hidden drive it saw, and how that choice can change the path you walk." Dogs, Szondi said, sense the drive constellation you repress and stand guard until you face it. In the original test, Szondi presented patients with dozens of photographs of faces. He asked them to pick the face that drew them out of the crowd. Each selection mapped to one of his 4 drives: heritage, sexual, paroxysmal, and contact. The test revealed unspoken patterns of choice, desire, and fate. Today, our dogs perform a similar role. When a dog stares at you, it reads the silent patterns of your inner life. It recognizes traits you refuse to admit, nudging them into your awareness. If your dog holds its gaze for longer than 3 seconds, Szondi noted, you are confronting a drive you have ignored. A steady, calm stare speaks of denied heritage. A wary blink reveals buried impulse. A sudden yawn signals repressed emotion. Each sign is a clue, a message carved in movement. These patterns repeat night after night, invitation after invitation. Tonight's journey begins with your own reflection. Watch the eyes of a dog for a full 7 seconds. Notice the shift in your breath. Feel the quiet pressure. By the end of this experiment, you will know which drive calls to you the loudest. Tune in at minute 2 for your first test prompt. A numbered face will flash on screen. Pick the dog's gaze that pulls at you most. Comment the letter. This simple act opens the way to revelation. Prepare yourself. The canine Mir. The Viking Ulfa, the lone wolf, was said to choose only the warriors whose blood cried out for ancestral reckoning. In Norse sagas, the wolf did not prowl for the strongest or fastest. It prowled for the lineages that still throbbed with unclaimed honor. That wolf stood sentinel over fate, leading only those whose heritage demanded a final trial. Like the shepherd dog, it served as a living bridge between past and present. Notice how an old family dog patrols the same hallway every night. It does not wander at random. It circles your childhood bedroom door as if tracing footsteps you no longer walk. That patrol is a silent guardian of lineage energy. It marks the ground where your ancestors first set foot in this home. Each step reminds you of roots you have tried to forget. If your dog circles your childhood bedroom, you may be avoiding a family truth. The heritage drive calls you back. It tugs you to remember. It invites you to face the stories you left untold. Now consider the sexual drive, the force of union and creation. It pulses whenever your dog seeks affection, nudges you for touch, or presses its head into your palm. In Szondi's files, dogs that leaned into strangers revealed their owner's unspoken longing for connection. When a dog initiates contact, it mirrors a human need, masked by pride or fear. Next comes the paroxysmal drive, the surge of raw emotion. A sudden bark, a frantic dash, a wild leap. These are floods of energy we often choke back. Szondi recorded a case where a dog's outburst in a silent library exposed its owner's buried anger. The dog became a thunderbolt, shattering the calm that hid a storm. Finally, the contact drive seeks safety and touch. When a dog rests its muzzle on your lap, it is more than comfort. It is a pact of presence. Szondi noted that dogs who pressed close during grief carried their owners through sorrow, sealing energetic wounds with the warmth of their bodies. Each of these drives lives in you too. Your dog knows this truth better than you do. Tonight, observe which behavior calls to you most. Is it the nightly patrol, the pleading nudge, the explosive bark, or the healing touch. That pattern points to the drive you must meet. Your companion stands guard at the threshold of your soul, waiting for your courage to open the door. Myth and lab both confirm the power of the canine stare. For thousands of years, people have looked into a dog's eyes and felt something shift. Today, science proves what ancient cultures intuited, that gaze carries meaning beyond simple attention. In ancient Egypt, the dog was more than a pet. Priests donned masks of Anubis, the jackal-headed guardian of the dead. They believed that Anubis weighed the hearts of the fallen, judging their souls against the feather of Maat. A single look from Anubis, they said, could reveal a man's hidden sin. Tomb paintings show Anubis standing at the threshold of eternity, his eyes fixed on the scales. That gaze was not gentle. It pierced the veil between life and afterlife. In hieroglyphs, the eye of Anubis is called the Watcher of Fate. In Szondi's own notes, he wrote of a modern echo. A service dog in Cairo once refused to approach an artifact chamber until its handler confessed a long-buried lie. The priests, he observed, would have nodded in approval. Half a world away, the island of Okinawa placed stone shisa dogs on every rooftop. These fierce guardians, with open mouths and bared teeth, were carved to bite evil winds before they entered the home. Locals believed that a quick glance from a shisa statue could deter malevolent spirits. The statues stand silent, but their eyes, hewn from coral-colored rock, seem alive at dawn. Okinawan fishermen still refuse to sail past these figures without bowing, certain the stone dogs watch over their fate at sea. Modern science joins the chorus. A 2015 Japanese study measured levels of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, in both dogs and their owners. Researchers found that when a dog gazed into its owner's eyes for just 30 seconds, oxytocin spiked in both subjects. That hormone floods the body with warmth and trust. Scientists call this the oxytocin loop. It cements bonds, builds loyalty, and rewrites chemistry. In Szondi's terms, the paroxysmal drive surges in that moment, dissolving barriers between pack and person. Service dog trainers now use a 30-second gaze drill to speed trust with new handlers. They instruct trainees to lock eyes with their dog and hold still for half a minute. The result? Dogs who would normally take weeks to obey basic commands follow orders within days. Trainers report calmer dogs, fewer distractions, and stronger bonds. This simple exercise proves that the stare carries power, power to heal, to guide, and to align destinies. Across myth and lab, the message is clear. Science measures hormones, myth names spirits. Both agree, the stare rewrites fate chemistry. When you meet your dog's eyes today, you stand at an intersection of biology and belief. The moment of eye contact is an invitation. It is a summons to remember that you share more than a home. You share a story written in blood and bone, in myth and molecule. Watch the next unit to learn how to read the hidden drives behind that story. Science measures hormones, myth names spirits. Both agree. The stare rewrites fate chemistry. In the heart of winter, when cold winds sweep empty streets and nights grow long, grief claims its throne. For Maria, that throne was the bedroom she shared with her husband for 27 years. After his passing on a frosty December morn, the silence in the house grew heavy enough to suffocate. Each dawn reflected in empty doorways. Walls echoed memories she could not bear. 2 weeks after his funeral, a scruffy black dog appeared at Maria's gate each morning before sunrise. Its fur was matted, its ribs faintly visible under a thin coat. She tried to shoo it away, clapping her hands, hurling bread crusts, but it stayed. Dawn after dawn, it sat in the pale light, head lowered but eyes fixed on her window. The dog did not beg. It simply waited, pulsing an unspoken insistence. Unsure what to do, Maria called for help. A neighbor suggested she bring the dog in for warmth. With trembling hands, she led it inside. Despite her fear, the animal did not bark or bite. It moved slowly, as though guided by intent. It smelled of damp fur and untold hardship. It settled on the worn rug outside the bedroom door. Maria resumed her nightly pills to quiet the ache in her chest. But each time she reached for the bottle, the dog stirred. It rose, placed a gentle paw on the threshold, and pressed its head softly against the door. That contact felt like an anchor in a storm. Something in its steady weight and rhythmic breathing stroked the raw edges of her sorrow. When Maria finally consulted Dr. Leopold Szondi in session Szondi case number 204C, he observed, "The animal feels the vacuum grief cuts in the contact drive. It stands there to seal the wound." Those words sank deep. Maria allowed herself to imagine the dog as more than chance. Perhaps it had sensed the void carved by her loss and come to offer solace where empty air once gathered. She began to skip the pills. The dog lay unwavering across the doorway, pulsing calm, and a soft insistence that life could still be born, even in fragments. Months passed. The dawn visitor remained. Its presence became routine, an unspoken pact born in darkness. As winter melted into spring, Maria noticed subtle shifts. Her breath grew steadier. She began to see the sunlight at the window instead of only grief. She spoke to the dog in broken sentences, and it listened without judgment. The act of caring for the dog, providing blankets, gentle strokes, poured warmth back into her limbs. In the quiet hours before dawn, Maria and the dog formed a new household rhythm. Her human voice returned in soft lullabies. The dog responded with quiet whines and soft nudges. Contact drive healing operated beyond words. It was energy exchanged through fur and skin, a silent communion. Maria often wondered why the dog chose her. But Szondi's words provided clarity. It sealed what death tore open. The stray had recognized a vacancy in her field, a wound in need of closure. It did not ask for gratitude. It did not require reward. It simply stood at the threshold, a living remedy. Across cultures, stray dogs have long held roles as guides to the wounded. In rural India, village elders speak of bhutla dogs that appear where sorrow runs deep, carrying whispers of ancestral healing. Tibetan nomads also regard lone street dogs as messengers of transitional phases, crossing thresholds between life and death. These legends echo Szondi's conclusion. The stray's presence is no accident, but a calling. When the road ahead grows dark, a stray arrives to illuminate the path home to the soul. For Maria, understanding this meant embracing openness. Szondi taught that the contact drive is the soul's deep need to connect and repair breaks in identity. A stray sensing that need acts like living balm, stitching fragments we could not heal alone. Sheltering such a dog births your own healing and reveals power in simple care. When a stray refuses to leave as which emptiness it has come to fill. Tonight we explore the healing trilogy, the threefold remedy your dog offers at the deepest levels of body, mind, and spirit. Watch the screen as the words physical, emotional, spiritual appear. In each domain, your companion delivers a living prescription guided by the 4 drives Dr. Leopold Szondi identified. We begin with the heritage drive, move through the paroxysmal drive, and conclude with the contact drive. When your dog presses its spine into your legs, it is not seeking only warmth. It is anchoring lineage energy where your body needs grounding most. Szondi observed that the heritage drive roots you in ancestral patterns, and the dog becomes a conduit for those patterns, reconnecting body and blood memory. Modern science confirms this ancient instinct. A heart rate variability study published in 2018 tracked 50 dog owner pairs. Within 90 seconds of close back-to-back contact, owners' heart rhythms stabilized to within 2 beats per minute of their dog's baseline. Researchers noted reduced sympathetic arousal and a surge in parasympathetic tone, proof that physical alignment with a canine companion calms the nervous system. Tonight, sit quietly with your back pressed against your dog's spine. Close your eyes. Feel each breath cycle match the rise and fall you sense under your shoulder blades. Hold still for a full 3 minutes. Allow the steady beat of your dog's heart and the pressure along your back to refill the roots that grief or stress have eroded. When you bottle up anger, the paroxysmal flame smolders until it bursts. Szondi called this the paroxysmal drive, surging emotion, demanding release. Dogs mirror this drive with sudden outbursts, a sharp bark, an explosive leap, a frantic dash across the room. These moments are not random. They are raw reflections of your own suppressed energy seeking expression. Clinical. Notes from Szondi case, numbered to 305F, describe a border collie that erupted in a tranquil library just as its owner suppressed a years-long rage toward a colleague. Minutes later, the owner's cortisol levels, measured in saliva samples, plummeted by 25%. The dog's eruption unlocked the emotional dam, allowing the owner to voice a long-held grievance with remarkable calm. The next time you feel a tightening in your chest, anger you dare not speak, let your dog see it. Call its name, then state your frustration aloud in a clear sentence. For example, "I'm tired of being overlooked at work." Watch your dog's response. More often than not, it will sit quietly, as if settling beside you, a living signal that the drive has diffused. Repeat this aloud release 3 times and notice the tension diminish. Some needs transcend body and emotion. They dwell in the quiet spaces of doubt, faith, and questioning. Szondi named this the contact drive, the soul's intimate reach for connection. Dogs feel this drive when they rest their muzzle on your palm during moments of prayer, meditation, or silent despair. That gentle weight carries reassurance your mind cannot conjure alone. An EEG study at a German university mapped brainwave patterns of individuals meditating with and without a dog present. When a dog laid its head on the meditator's hand, their alpha waves synchronized at 8 Hz, the frequency linked to intuitive insight and effortless awareness. Participants reported deeper states of calm and clearer inner guidance, crediting the dog's presence for dissolving barriers to perception. During your next quiet moment, whether you sit in silence, pray, or simply gaze out a window, invite your dog to your side. Extend your palm, fingers upward. Do not rush touch. Let the dog choose to rest its muzzle there. Keep your hand open and soft. Breathe slowly. As questions arise in your mind, allow them to float away without chasing answers. Trust the stillness that forms between your skin and your companion's fur. Your dog is a living prescription pad. Each posture writes a remedy. The heritage drive roots you in body through aligned breath. The paroxysmal drive frees pent-up emotion through shared release. The contact drive opens the silent channel to spiritual insight without words. Observe these healing acts. Practice each instruction tonight. In the morning, notice how your body is steadier, your mind quieter, and your spirit lighter. Let the healing trilogy renew you, one heartfelt gesture at a time. Some dogs patrol places where the veil thins. They do not circle out of habit, nor bark at shadows for mere sound. These guardians sense thresholds, points where our world brushes against the unseen. Tonight we explore how your companion may guard gateways you cannot see. Some dogs patrol places where the veil thins. They stand at liminal spots, doorways, corridors, cellars, alert to energies that slip between realms. When your dog fixates on invisible currents, pay attention. That behavior signals a boundary opening, a passage that may affect your fate. In lecture file, Szondi case number 312D, Dr. Leopold Szondi described a small terrier that flatly refused to descend into the family's cellar. Every evening at dusk, the dog bristled at the threshold, hackles raised, eyes locked on the rotten wooden door. The family assumed it was fear of darkness. Yet when they removed a loose floorboard to ease the dog's distress, they uncovered an ancient dagger, a rusted relic from a violent ancestor. That blade lay hidden beneath generations of plaster, bearing a bloodline's unforgiven desire for vengeance. Szondi concluded, the terrier refused the cellar. The family later found an ancestral dagger beneath the floor. Unforgiven bloodline desire. The dog's instinct was not superstition but sensitivity to a charged object, a silent guardian against a resurgent ancestral curse. Hospital corridors at 3:00 a.m. rarely see comfort. Yet on the night shift ward of St. Mary's Hospice, a golden retriever appears each winter, trotting down the empty hallways just before a patient's final breath. Nurses call it Riley the Guide. They describe how, moments before a patient passes, Riley stands in a pool of pale light, gaze fixed on an unseen door at the end of the corridor. No visitor enters, no machine signals change, yet those present sense a threshold opening. One nurse, Eleanor, recalled the night Mrs. Thompson slipped away. Riley laid her head at the foot of the bed and stared down the hall, the air in that spot crackling. 10 minutes later, Mrs. Thompson exhaled once, eyes closed. Riley didn't move until the machines flatlined. To hospital staff, Riley's vigil is more than quiet companionship. It is an escort through the etheric door, a reassurance for souls transitioning between worlds. Across Siberia's frozen steppes, shamanic tribes revere black dogs as gatekeepers of the dream world. Called yam dogs, these creatures appear in trance rituals, their eyes glowing in firelight. Shamans send yam dogs into the dream steppe, a shared subconscious landscape where spirits wander. In the ritual, a shaman enters trance beside a flickering bonfire. A yam dog, a village elder's loyal hound, stands by the shaman's side, ears twitching. When the shaman's spirit drifts, the dog remains tethered to both worlds, guiding the soul safely back at dawn. According to ethnographer Viktor Makarov, the yam dog blocks hostile spirits at the portal, allowing only benevolent guides to pass. This legend echoes Szondi's insight. Dogs guard thresholds, patrol portals, and serve as intermediaries between seen and unseen. Today's paranormal investigators report similar phenomena. In a 2019 study of reputedly haunted houses, teams recorded canine participants reacting strongly to specific rooms. In one suburban home, a beagle refused to enter the master bedroom. Infrared cameras later revealed electromagnetic spikes near the bed frame, fields too weak for human perception, but potent enough to alarm the dog. Equipment readings aligned with areas where occupants reported disembodied whispers and cold spots. Behavioral scientist Dr. Lin Chen explains, dogs' vestibular and electroreceptive senses pick up energy fluctuations that human instruments can only hint at. Their reactions help us map anomalous zones. This synergy of anecdote and study adds scientific weight to ancient belief. When your dog freezes at a spot, note both the behavior and the location. you may be mapping your own home's energetic blueprint. Observe locations. Mark where your dog pauses, barks, or refuses passage. Use a simple log: doorways, hallways, basements. Record patterns. Note time of day, mood in the room, any electronics or drafts. Over weeks, clusters reveal true thresholds. Test boundaries. Safely open windows or doors at those spots. If your dog repositions, the gateway remains active. Neutralize energy. Some suggest smudging with sage, ringing a chime, or repositioning furniture to disperse stagnant charges. Notice if your dog's vigilance subsides. When your dog barks at nothing, note the spot. The threshold may be opening. Your companion stands guard at doorways between worlds. By honoring that instinct, logging locations, patterns, and responses, you gain a map of unseen energies in your life. The next time your dog fixates on an empty corner or stalled doorway, remember Szondi's terrier and Riley the guide. Those moments are not quirks, they are guardianship, urging you to notice the unseen. Watch closely. Your dog may be leading you through an open gate you did not know existed. Before you take your first breath in this world, a covenant is made not only with other humans, but with animals who will walk beside you through life's trials. Dr. Leopold Szondi taught that fate is a rendezvous of unfinished vows, and that souls enter the world carrying pre-birth agreements, pack contracts, to support each other's evolution. Before birth, souls sign pack agreements. These soul contracts bind you to your dog in ways that transcend time, memory, and personal history. The moment your companion chose you, an ancient vow was honored, sealing a connection that defies chance. In an unpublished letter, Szondi wrote, "Fate is a rendezvous of unfinished vows." He meant that souls arrive tethered to one another by promises made across lifetimes. Dogs, Szondi observed, often carry the fragments of those promises, tasks left undone, lessons half-learned, wounds still bleeding beneath conscious awareness. Example: consider the case of a man who lived in perpetual flight from commitment. He adopted a one-eyed husky named Arlo, drawn by its fierce loyalty despite the scarred gaze. For months, the husky paced the perimeter of the man's apartment, its restless energy mirroring the owner's fear of being tied down. Attempts to calm the dog failed, until one evening a family heirloom, a wartime photograph, fell from a dusty shelf. The photograph showed a young soldier beside his sled dog in frozen fields. The sled dog, one-eyed and lean, stood guard over a fallen comrade. A sudden shock coursed through the man's heart. The husky before him was the very creature from the image. Memories unbidden flooded his mind: rain-slick trenches, the husky's silent vigil, and an oath made in the tundra. In that moment, Szondi's theory crystallized. Two souls who have upheld each other's safety in another life will find each other again to complete their unfinished vows. After that, revelation. The man's chronic flight reflex eased. He slept through the night for the first time in years, and Arlo settled into calm companionship, as though his duty had finally been fulfilled. Your dog may carry the part of your fate you dared not hold alone. In its eyes lie not only devotion, but a fragment of your own soul's journey, an echo of vows you made before memory bound you to flesh. And if a cat crosses that fate, tomorrow we uncover why cats vanish into boxes, and how Szondi meets Bacalard to map invisible rooms of the soul. Now that we've uncovered the silent language of the canine gaze, carry this awareness into every moment you share. As you watch your dog rest at your feet, remember the drives we revealed tonight. Let the heritage you ignored stir warmth in your heart. Give voice to emotions you once suppressed. Invite stillness to expand your spirit. If this exploration opened a door in your mind, subscribe and ring the bell to join our journey. Tomorrow we delve into the mysteries of feline whispers, guided by Szondi's voice and Bachelard's vision. Stay curious, keep watching. Until then, let every glance from your dog remind you that fate is an echo of vows across lifetimes. Allow those solemn stares to awaken your hidden truths, one blink at a time. Thank you for witnessing this silent pact between you and your companion. Subscribe for deeper insights and be the first to discover what lies beyond the next threshold. Return often to these reflections as you and your dog share each day's quiet chapters. This channel is your lantern through unseen corridors of the soul. Join us and subscribe to never miss more.